Welcome back to CrossTalk podcast. I'm Tomoya.
Hi, I'm Andrea.
Okay, Andrea, she brought a news this week.
I did. Well, maybe I did.
It's a big issue around foreign community in Japan, right?
That's right. Yeah. So a lot of the foreigners are in Japan. A lot of the foreigners in Japan are kind of freaking out because the government is starting to enact much stricter measures towards getting permanent residency visas.
Right.
Now, permanent residency is age you can.
Age you can, yes.
Right.
So it's very beneficial for foreign people who live in Japan, right?
Yeah, it's if you want to live here long term, like me, like if you're married and you have family, or if you have a long term career, a lot of people want to get permanent residency, and the reason is there's no like tax benefit or anything. It's just easier. You don't have to keep going and updating your visa status every couple of years.
Okay.
So it saves time and saves money, and it's much more convenient.
Okay.
And you can do any kind of work. So when I came to Japan, I was on a certain kind of work visa that stipulated that I could only do work in the education field. But if I have a permanent residency visa, I can work in any field. I can do restaurant work. I can do hotel work. I could be a tour guide. I could do banking. I can do whatever I want.
Okay.
So it's a lot more flexible.
I see.
So that's why people prefer to get permanent residency.
So the rule for this permanent residency visa is getting stricter.
Yes, and it's already fairly strict to begin with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell our viewers what's happening on this permanent residency visa?
Well, in order to get it now, even, you have to have paid at least 3 years of health insurance and pension payments without being late one day. You have to pay everything on time for 3 years. So if you're late one day, you're out.
Oh.
That's right now. And then now they are adding in the stipulation that you have to, of course, you have to pay taxes, but they're going to checks. I think you have to pay taxes now. You have to pay taxes and show that you have paid taxes, like shiminze.
Okay.
And income tax. But now you have to, with the new measures that they're talking about, you have to make over a certain amount of money per month.
So
And it has to be more than Japanese people make. It has to be much more money than Japanese people make.
that's very strict.
Yeah.
So even Japanese people are struggling with this situation.
Yeah.
The price for foods and oils are raising up.
Yeah.
Foreign residency make more than Japanese people make.
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit crazy.
Well, if you think about the kinds of jobs that most foreigners in Japan are doing, it's either blue collar work like factory or farm work. So they're not making more money than Japanese people, or like ALTs, assistant language teachers, or working in eikaiwas. Also, honestly, the salary is very low. They're not making more than Japanese people either. So they can get work visas, sure, but they won't be able to get permanent residency.
Okay. Oh, but this new rules only apply to new applicants, right?
No.
Eh?
Well, right now it does, but they're going to make it retroactive. Retroactive means they're going to enforce it for people that already have it.
Oh no.
So yeah, I would be affected.
If that law changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a serious problem.
Yeah, it is. It's scary. It's very scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. Why Japanese government decided to do this?
Well, honestly, I think they're trying to, and I understand, they're trying to crack down on people who don't pay taxes, who don't pay their health insurance premiums, who don't pay into pension, but who want to stay here long term. So by staying here long term, we get benefit from pension and health insurance. But like if you haven't paid into it, then you're cheating the system. So I think honestly, the Japanese government is just trying to cut out a lot of people who cheat the system.
Okay.
Like who don't pay their taxes.
I don't want to say bad about these people, but they are kind of sabotaging
Yeah.
what you what Andrea-san already have.
Yeah, I mean, they're dragging everyone down.
Yeah.
But it's not, the thing is, it's not just a few people. I think it's a lot of people who are cheating the system, I suspect. Because otherwise, it wouldn't be such a big problem. Right? So, yeah, I understand why the government's doing it, but it really affects all of us negatively, and it's very, very stressful to think about, like, what if I can't keep my visa status, what am I going to do, right? What kind of different visa can I get, or do I have to leave the country? Like, it's very stressful to think about.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember good friends of mine trying to get a permanent residency visa in Australia. He was kind of struggling with getting this because Australian government, the condition for this PR visa are changing every single years.
Really?
That's what I
Australia is
heard.
very strict too, I know. Yeah.
Yes.
Like how is Australia strict? Do you remember? Do you know?
I don't remember precisely. Probably something like this. Like you have a certain amount of experience in a job,
Okay.
but they extend it to this term.
Okay.
Like before 3 years experience in sushi chef experience, but next year
Like
changed
5
to
years or
5.
something. Okay. I know Australia, they are kind of well known for requiring people to have a lot of money in the bank. And it's not so that they can take it, it's just so that you can prove that you can support yourself. Right? So you have to have a lot of money in the bank in Australia in order to get permanent status there. Which thankfully Japan doesn't have that yet, but you have to make a lot of money, which I don't, right? Because we were freelancers. So.
And my friends ended up coming back to Japan several years ago. And I also have one more question. How about a permanent residency visa situation in the state?
I think it's also very difficult, but for different reasons, because we have a lot of people who want to come to the States. And so at first you make an application and it's a lottery system. So even if you meet all of the qualifications, you still have to enter the lottery.
Okay.
So it's a matter of having everything in order plus luck.
Okay.
I know like one thing, some of my friends from high school were from other countries, and they said they had to take a language test. So they do have to prove that they can speak English to be able to function enough in society. So there's a language test, and I think there's other. I don't think there's a money component. Like there's not a certain amount of money you have to make, but you have to have lived in America for so long, or you have to have worked there for so long, or like you said, you have to have some kind of work experience that's valuable to the country. Like, for example, we don't have enough doctors and nurses. So if you're a doctor, maybe you have a higher chance of getting in, right? That kind of thing.
Okay. Language ability test is one of a thing in Australia too.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, has my friend ever tested out his language ability in Australia? But you need to take TOEFL. You need to take IELTS test.
Okay.
IELTS, right?
Yeah, IELTS. Yeah, IELTS is Australia. And get probably over a certain score, I guess.
It doesn't require high score to achieve PR visa.
No, that's good. That's one of the new parts of the Japanese permanent residency too, is before there was no language requirement, but now the government is requiring that people have level N2, which is like Nikyu in the Nihongo Noryoku Shiken test. So there's 5 levels. 5 is the lowest level, 1 is the highest level. So if you want permanent residency, you have to have at least Nikyu. And so some people are freaking out because, Japanese is a difficult language for many people to learn. But, honestly, if you're going to live here long term, you should be able to speak the language.
Of course.
Yeah. And I think there was some interview. They're going to add an interview, and you have to be able to express or relay that you can fit into Japanese society. Like, you know how to sort your trash. You know how to separate trash. You know, like basic manners.
That's also required.
That's a new requirement too.
Okay.
So that stuff I'm okay. Like language, I'm okay. Societal rules, I'm okay with that stuff. I'm not worried. And yeah, honestly, you should know that stuff. Okay. Everyone should know that stuff if you're going to live here. So, yeah.
Okay, so there's another unique way to get the PR visa, permanent residency visa in Australia.
Oh.
I just recall.
Okay.
So I don't remember clearly, but around 15 years. If you stay in Australia for 15 years, no matter how you do, like coming back to Australia every single years,
okay,
you could get permanent residency visa.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Doesn't matter illegal or legal.
Really?
Right.
Oh, interesting.
So is this kind of rule exist in Japan?
No. No. You have to be here legally. You cannot be here as an illegal person. No. I'm not sure about America because honestly, you know, we're attached to Mexico. So a lot of immigrants come up through Central America and they come past through Mexico to come up. And a lot of people are in the country illegally, or they have documentation to be there kind of as refugees, and they're seeking a visa status. So they're okay. Like as long as they get some kind of documentation at the border saying, I'm coming to seek asylum, I'm coming to seek a visa, then they can get in and it's not illegal. But they're kind of in like a limbo, like a gray zone kind of situation. But yeah, Japan doesn't have that. You're either legal or you're not legal. There's no gray zone here, really.
Australia is such a wild country in a way. So
that's a new country,
right?
Yeah, and America's new also. So I think like Japan is different. It's an ancient country, but like Australia's new. America's quite new. Canada's quite new, and so there were periods in the beginning of our histories where we welcomed people. Like, we need people. Come on, anyone will take you. And that's the whole premise of, the American Statue of Liberty, right? As we will welcome everyone to our shores. But that's obviously not the case nowadays.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I heard many similar stories from people in Australia.
Yeah.
Used to be very loose to get a permanent residency visa or work visa.
Right. Used to be very, very easy. And also land. Canada too, like it's really cheap to buy land in a lot of places because there's leftover land that no one wants or needs. So very different than Japan in that way.
Yes. When I lived in Australia, I heard this story. If you want to get a PR visa or work visa easily, you have to say you are a sushi chef. That's the easiest way to get this kind of a visa.
You better start studying your knife skills.
No, it's too late. It's too late. And I believe many people
probably did. Yeah,
probably
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
To be honest,
that's funny.
And I've seen that.
Yeah.
And also, one of my colleagues in the restaurant I worked, he actually got it.
Oh, wow.
Through this way.
Okay.
He stayed in Australia for more than 15 years.
Okay.
And he didn't have a passport of Australia.
Okay.
He didn't have a passport of his own country either.
That's illegal, isn't it?
That's illegal.
Yeah.
So he went back to his hometown.
Okay.
Which is Indonesia, I think.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
Okay. How? If he didn't have a passport, how did he get on the airplane?
Yeah, that's a trick. I don't know. Maybe he showed an old passport.
Oh, okay.
Somehow he got through. But, problem is started here. He tried to come back to Australia with his illegal passport or something. But, of course, his passport was expired. Airport staff find it. And then he's stuck in Indonesia.
In Indonesia.
In Indonesia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
all
he
has to do is renew his passport, right?
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
It's not hard, but he's technically Australian resident at that point, but he didn't have a visa or passport. He didn't have...
Yeah, you have to have a new passport. And when you update your passport, then they'll re-stamp your visa into your new passport. But his passport was old.
Because he was an illegal immigrant.
See, he thinks he's an Australian national, not just a permanent resident. He thinks he probably changed his nationality. In which case, he wouldn't need a passport. But if he needs a passport, that means he's still Indonesian.
So he called us. By the way, he was on holiday. That's why he went back to his own country. So,
and got stuck.
And then he called us on the day he supposed to be come back.
Okay.
And then we got a phone call. And then, he said he can't come because he's stuck in the airport. That's
kind of his own fault, though. You have to keep your passport updated.
So it can't not finish between himself and the Indonesian government, the Australian government involved, because he's one of the Australian residents.
Resident, but not a national. He didn't change his nationality. He just needs to update his passport.
So I don't know how he ended up.
It's an easy thing. All you have to do is get a new passport. Get on the airplane, go back to Australia, take your old passport, take the new passport together to go to the immigration and have them look at the old passport, stamp the new visa in the new passport, finished. Yeah, that's all he had to do. It's not that hard. He's just being stupid. Sorry, you have stupid friends. That's really stupid.
I had a unique friend.
You have stupid friends. I'm sorry. That's really stupid.
I
have stupid friends too, though, if it makes you feel better. I have very stupid friends too.
Well, these kind of things happen.
Yeah.
Every day.
Oh, yeah, it does. And actually, I have a friend or ex-friend. She's not my friend anymore, who you know, too. I'll tell you later who it is, but she's intelligent. She and I had a huge argument because her passport expired. She's from New Zealand. Her passport expired. And she argued with me that no, she didn't need to get a new passport because her visa, she has permanent residency. So as long as she has permanent residency, she doesn't need a passport. And I'm like, no. Your permanent residency visa depends on you having a valid passport. If your passport expires, your visa has nothing to attach to, right? It has to be connected. But, she wouldn't listen, and I don't think she ever updated her passport. So if she gets deported, it is not my fault. I tried. I have stupid friends too, see.
I guess many people doesn't know, these rules.
Logic.
Stay
it's
in
like
a foreign country.
Logic. It's simple logic.
Oh, by the way, this one of my colleague, he came back to the restaurant 3 weeks later.
Oh, that's fast. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's because that means he got a new passport within 3 weeks.
Yes.
And they usually take many months to make a passport, so that's pretty good.
I think he paid a lot.
He probably had to, rush.
Australia.
Yeah, to get it rushed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he figured it out.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyone who wants to live in Australia, you should stay in 15 years.
15 years. Okay.
15 years.
Legally or illegally.
Right.
All right.
Maybe it might be changed already.
Yeah, just check ChatGPT just in case.
Right.
Look it up online.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's still ongoing. Like this whole Japanese, the updated requirements for permanent residency, and also actually nationality is getting impossible. Like if I'm American, right? If I want to change to be Japanese nationality, it's almost impossible to get. So yeah, there's a lot of updates out. It's still ongoing. Nothing has really been decided 100% yet.
Okay,
that's what's going on.
Okay, so let me double check your status. You have a permanent residency visa, right?
Yes.
For Japan.
Yes, I do, and my passport is updated.
Okay.
So I'm good.
You're valid.
I'm good.
You're good to go.
Yeah, I'm good to go unless they say you don't make enough money. You're too poor to stay in our country. Get out. Then I'm in trouble.
That's really strict.
Somebody can be my sponsor in that case. Somebody, please sponsor me.
Yeah, we need to have a hashtag Save Andrea.
Sponsor Andrea.
Yeah, sponsor Andrea.
I was joking with my girlfriend this morning about maybe I shouldn't say this on the podcast. We were joking about papakatsu.
Papakatsu.
I'm like, yeah, at my age, no one wants this. I need to sponsor someone else, right? Because I'm too old.
Okay.
But, yeah.
We need to beg our listener to support.
No one wants to support me like that. That's fine. Anyway, so that's the news.
Okay. So, I think that's all for today.
Yeah. Okay. So keep checking the newspapers. This is going to be updated continuously.
Okay. We'll keep touching this episodes.
Maybe.
This story.
It's not that interesting to everyone, though.
We are getting some foreign viewers, listeners recently.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah.
Maybe it's talk about this kind of story sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if it's useful to people, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening. Let us know if you have any opinions on this topic.
Keep listening and keepいきなり?
No. いきなりじゃない. Okay. All right. That's all for this episode.
This is CrossTalk signing out, bringing you.
Okay, that's my part. Okay. All right. This is CrossTalk signing off, bringing you English your way every week.
Keep listening and keep shining.
Bye.